Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to the Linglobe channel. This time, we'll be bringing you content about preserving the world's languages for the future. Please enjoy it to the end.
Imagine for a second that you are putting on a sweater before leaving your house. But this isn't just, any piece of clothing.
Right.
Imagine that this sweater is so intricately coated with specific, vibrant geometric patterns that anyone walking past you instantly knows your hometown, your family lineage, your social standing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and all without you having to speak a single word. You are essentially walking around wearing incredibly beautiful woven data. So, welcome to Linglobe Voice. Whether you are prepping for a trip, doing some cultural research, or you're just insanely curious about how the world works, you are in the exact right place. Today, we have an incredible visual presentation provided in the Linglobe materials, and, we are going to explore it together.
It really is a stunning set of materials. And for those of you listening, I want to ground you in what our mission is today.
Yeah.
We are looking at a living, breathing culture. So often when we talk about history, we fall into the trap of looking at dusty museum exhibits.
Yeah, totally, like ancient civilizations that just vanished into thin air.
Exactly. But that is not what this is. This is about people who are here right now, actively carrying an extraordinary, complex heritage into the present day. We're basically looking at resilience in real time.
I love that. So let's open up the Linglobe materials. We're going to start with the very first slide, which just sets the stage. The title here is The Kaqchikel People, Voices of the Maya.
And the imagery here is just, it's arresting.
It really is. It's this breathtaking visual exploration of the descendants of the ancient Maya civilization, focusing on their language, their culture, their resilience in the Guatemalan Highlands. The picture just has this dramatic volcanic backdrop over Lake Atitlan.
Right, which sets our thematic mission perfectly.
Yeah.
We are looking at a living, breathing culture, not just ancient history.
Which is the perfect bridge to our next section. Because to understand how this culture survived, we first have to look at, where they live. So the materials guide us to the next slide, which is titled Central America, Central Guatemala. And it has the subtitle, The Highlands, a Cinematic Landscape.
Cinematic might actually be an understatement. When you look at the map provided on this slide, we are zooming into Central America, right into the heart of Guatemala. The region is mapped out across three key areas: Solola, which is near that beautiful lake we just saw,
right,
and then Zacatepec and Chimaltenango. The visual shows these incredibly lush, rolling green mountains. But, beyond just being pretty to look at, that terrain is functionally critical.
Wait, how so? Like, defensively?
Yes, exactly. The rugged beauty and the extreme relative isolation of these Central Highlands acted as a natural sanctuary. Moving armies or even just establishing trade routes through massive volcanic peaks and plunging valleys is, it's an absolute nightmare.
Oh, I bet.
So this specific geography gave the Kaqchikel the buffer they needed to preserve their linguistic and cultural identity for centuries.
I really love thinking about it as like a natural fortress. Usually we picture a castle with stone walls built to keep invaders out. But here, the earth itself was the fortress, It protected their heritage from being erased.
That is a highly accurate way to frame it. But a fortress only matters if there's someone actively trying to breach it. Which brings us to their history on the next slide. The title here is Descendants of Iximche, a Legacy of Resilience.
Yeah, this timeline is intense. Starting in the 13th and 15th century, it's as they emerged as a major political power centered at the fortress city of Iximche.
Right, a massive stronghold.
But then we hit 1524, which is when the Spanish conquistador Pedro de Alvarado invaded. And, let's unpack this. It says they initially allied with the Spanish against rival Quiches groups before launching fierce rebellions. That's a complex political strategy. They weren't just immediate victims, right?
That is exactly right. The Kaqchikel had tremendous political agency. The leaders at Iximche were a powerful state navigating an almost unimaginable geopolitical crisis. So they made a rational calculation to use the Spanish to neutralize their historical regional rivals.
Wow. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, basically.
Precisely. But they soon realized the Spanish were an existential threat. And they didn't just surrender, they pivoted and launched a fierce rebellion using those same highland fortress walls we just talked about.
And the timeline shows it didn't stop there. Moving into the 19th and 20th centuries, they endured forced labor, land confiscation, and then the devastating Guatemalan Civil War from 1960 to 1996. Yet through all that, they fiercely protected their community structures.
Yes. When you face centuries of systemic attempts to dismantle your society, survival becomes an act of intense daily defiance.
And the most vital community structure they protected, their language. Let's look at the next slide. I will read the exact title. Roots of the Voice, Origins of the Kaqchikel Language. The image shows these incredible ancient glyphs.
The flowchart on this slide traces a fascinating lineage. It starts with classical Maya, then branches down to the Mayan language family, and finally brings us to modern Kaqchikel. And the data point at the bottom is remarkable. It's spoken by over 500,000 people today.
500,000 people. Wait, really?
It's massive. It is one of the most active and vital indigenous languages in Central America today.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? It means we aren't talking about a relic. We are talking about a thriving modern voice. 500,000 people using this to buy groceries, argue, and live their lives.
Exactly. And to truly appreciate that voice, we have to look under the hood at how the language is built, because it does not operate the way English does. The Linglobe materials break this down on the next slide, which is titled The Architecture of Speech, Grammar and Structure.
Okay, this slide is dense. It mentions the language uses a unique ergative-absolutive grammatical framework. And it says the subject of an intransitive verb behaves like the object of a transitive verb. I'm going to need you to translate that into plain English.
It's completely natural to find it disorienting. In English, the doer of an action is the center of the universe. I sleep, or I push the cart. The I is the king of the sentence.
Right, I am the main character.
Right. But an ergative absolutive system decenters the actor. The person just existing like sleeping is treated grammatically the exact same way as the receiver of an action, like if someone pushed you.
Wait, hold on. So I sleep and the me in you pushed me are treated the same.
Yes. The language focuses heavily on the state of being and who is undergoing the experience, rather than projecting force outward. It completely shifts your psychological relationship to nature.
That is mind-blowing. And the slide also talks about the building blocks. It says there's a system of verb prefixes that eliminate the need for separate pronouns, so they just pack it all together.
Right. In English, we use separate words like, she gave it to him. In Kaqchikel, you take the core action and snap on prefix puzzle pieces that carry all that information.
I am marveling at how tightly packed that is. A single complex word does the job of an entire English sentence. And the slide mentions the organic core, how the vocabulary is intrinsically linked to concepts of nature and agriculture.
It is a language born from the soil. The root words draw heavily from their natural environment.
Well, translating that organic spoken word into writing must be tough. Let's see how they do it. The exact title of the next slide is Sounds and Symbols, from Glyphs to Latin script.
This is where we see the physical evolution. The sounds feature striking glottalized consonants, these pops and clicks in the throat, and very precise vowel lengths that fundamentally change word meanings.
So if you hold a vowel just a fraction longer, it means something completely different.
Exactly. And originally, this was an oral and logographic tradition using ancient glyphs. But today, it is written using adapted Latin script. Now, what's fascinating here is that they didn't just passively adopt a foreign alphabet. They specially modified it.
Modified it how? Like adding symbols?
Yes, diacritical marks and apostrophes to perfectly capture the unique phonetics of the Maya tongue that Spanish simply cannot handle.
That's brilliant. But those unique sounds are tied directly to the earth, right? Let's move to the next slide to see that connection. The title is Words from the Earth, the Agricultural Connection.
The first point states that the Kaqchikel worldview lacks sharp divisions between humanity and the natural environment. Their perspective on life is embedded directly in their vocabulary.
And the second point really drives it home, the maize pillar. It says they identify as descendants of the people of corn, which is central to Maya creation mythology. So for the Kaqchikel, agriculture isn't just an industry. It's a sacred linguistic and cultural pillar, defining their relationship with the earth.
It is the absolute center of their universe. In their creation story, the gods ground up corn and formed the flesh of true human beings.
Wow, so people of corn is literal for them.
Exactly. The earth provides their sustenance, and they literally speak their reverence back into the soil.
But they don't only communicate through spoken words, right? They weave it into what they wear. Let's look at the next slide. The title is Woven Identity, the Art of the Huipil.
This is one of my favorite elements. The slide explores the traditional hand-woven blouse crafted and worn by Kaqchikel women.
The silent language section is wild. The specific geometric patterns, colors, and regional designs act as a cultural ID card. Here's where it gets really interesting. By simply looking at the garment, you can instantly know the wearer's specific community and lineage without a single word being spoken.
It is a stunning visual vocabulary. They are encoding thousands of years of cosmology into the fabric, and wearing it is a fierce statement of resilience, especially surviving the Civil War.
It's a profound declaration of survival, and that extends to their faith, too. Just as they weave threads, they've woven different spiritual beliefs into a unified faith. Let's explore that on the next slide. The title is Spiritual Syncretism, Two Worlds Entwined.
The slide notes that today, Catholicism and evangelical Christianity coexist with deeply rooted traditional Maya spirituality.
And it brings up the concept of sacred geography, which, let me just say, is amazing. It's like the physical landscape itself, the mountain peaks, the caves, specific local sites. They're basically open-air cathedrals that serve as traditional altars for ancestral fire rituals today.
From a Western perspective, combining these religions seems contradictory, but the Kaqchikel approach is highly adaptable. They layered their beliefs. A prayer in a colonial church in the morning can be followed by a fire ceremony in a sacred cave in the afternoon.
That is incredible, and that spiritual connection is tied to the cosmos, too. Let's look at the next slide. The title is Time and Cosmos, the Tzolk'in calendar.
The text explains that the 260-day ancient Maya sacred calendar remains highly active, dictating rhythms of agricultural planting and personal destiny.
Wait, stop. A 260-day cycle. We base our calendar on a 365-day solar year. Where does 260 even come from?
It's not arbitrary. It's built on two interlocking cycles, 13 numbers and 20 named days. 13 times 20 is 260.
Okay, the math works, but why those numbers?
20 is the base of their counting system, and 13 represents the major joints of the human body. More importantly, 260 days is roughly the length of human gestation.
Oh, wow. So it's tied to human life itself.
Yes. And as the Living Ritual section explains, spiritual guides read specific day energies to determine optimal times for community decisions, healing, and sacred ceremonies.
So this connection to cosmic time even dictates how they play. The next slide in the materials is fascinating. The title is Play and Purpose, Traditional Kaqchikel Games.
We have 3 games here. First is Pelota Maya, the heavy rubber ball hit with the hips. It's tied to cosmic rhythms and cultural display.
Then there's Tzolk'in, right, a counting stone game that develops strategic and math skills completely tied to tracking agricultural cycles.
Exactly. And the third is Cinta, a horseback race to capture ribbons. It perfectly blends pre-Hispanic skill with colonial equestrian traditions. Play is never just an idle pastime here. It's a vibrant reenactment of their intellect, history, and resilience.
It all connects perfectly. So how do you, the listener, connect with this incredible living heritage today? That brings us to the final slide. The title is Journey to the Highlands, Connecting Today.
The practical gateway is La Aurora International Airport in Guatemala City, followed by about a 3-hour journey by car or shuttle into cultural heartlands like Kaqchikel.
And there's a beautiful symbolic detail here. The national currency is the quetzal, appropriately named after the sacred bird of the ancient Maya.
It's those beautiful details that really bring it all together.
It really is. The Kaqchikel Highlands are a profound place where ancient heritage and modern resilience truly breathe as one. Thank you.
Thank you for watching until the end. We will continue to bring you many more languages from around the world. Please subscribe to our channel. See you next time on the Linglobe channel.